Hello to my room. My name is Jermey Beaver and I will be your speaker today. You have stumbled across drivetrain and how it is usable. Now, everyone here has either driven a car, seen a car been driven, or at least seen a car before. But have you ever wondered how a massive vehicle that makes all people's lives easier actually works? Now, the drivetrain of a car consists of three parts. These parts include an engine, transmission, and rear end. The process is continuous, but begins in the engine, continuing on until it reaches the rear end. Each part of the drivetrain has an important role in the combined outcome of allowing the vehicle to move. This process all starts at the front of the car in the engine. It all starts when the carburetor ignites gas to fuel its production of power. The gas falls evenly through each of the ports in the intake till it reaches the pistons and spark plugs. When each individual piston reaches peak, causing the gas to be pressured, the spark plugs ignite, releasing energy that turns the crankshaft. The excess gas is rerouted through the exhaust pipes, cleaned in mufflers, and released into the atmosphere. As the crankshaft turns, it rotates a harmonic balancer in front of the block, which in turn spins the pulleys on the alternator, power steering pump, and the fan. Now the alternator charges a battery and keeps the car electronics running. The power steering pump uses a small hydraulic system, allowing for the steering wheel to turn smoothly and easily. Finally, the fan helps pull heat from the engine to prevent it from overheating. On the other side of the crankshaft, a flywheel is connected to the transmission torque converter, spinning in unison. The process continues into the transmission, starting in the torque converter, where the rotational force is converted into torque force. This transfer of energy allows the transmission to evenly distribute the force into a smaller surface area. If the energy wasn't evenly distributed, it could result in the transmission locking up and ruining all the parts of the drivetrain process. Next, the energy reaches the shift coils, which is controlled by the shifter. In a normal 5-speed car, the shifter is broken down to park, reverse, neutral, overdrive, drive, second, and first gear. When the car is in park, the energy is distributed within the torque motor and not transferred to the rear end, allowing the car to remain still. In reverse, the energy is released in a counterclockwise direction to allow the car to move backwards. Neutral is the only gear where the car can move without the use of the engine using energy. Overdrive is a combination of gears that allow the car to move forward, but the interval between gears is reduced to accelerate at a quicker pace. Drive is similar to overdrive, but the intervals between gears is increased to reduce the shifting of gears and save gas. Second gear is a lower set of gears, prevents the car from going over about 45 miles per hour. First gear is the lowest set of gears that allows the car to reach speeds around 30 miles per hour. Depending on what gear the car is in, varies the resulting energy transferred to the drive shaft, the first part of the rear end. The drive shaft transfers the energy from the transmission to the rear end without the two being directly together, which allowed cars and trucks to be longer and more spacious. It connects the pumpkin inside the rear end, which distributes energy evenly through the rear end to the two axles. Usually the axles are different lengths to help distribute the power equally from the pumpkin, so as to prevent one wheel from spinning while the other stays still. And my conclusion for today, you'll be remembering that the drivetrain of a car consists of three parts. These parts include an engine, transmission, and rear end. This process is continuous, but begins in the engine, continuing on until it reaches the rear end. Each part of the drivetrain has an important role in the combined outcome of allowing the vehicle to move. I hope by listening to me today you have a better understanding of your drivetrain and appreciate the complexity that makes our lives easier. Thank you and good night.